Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talk about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. So the dust is settling a little bit on the Seattle game, and we're looking forward to the joint practice with the Niners and the preseason game on Saturday. So one thing I want to do is take a look at Pete Carroll's reaction to what happened on Saturday and how he's looking to fix it. Now, one thing that is a little bit of a misconception right here is joint practices aren't always 100% live. And in fact, they're rarely 100% live. Like, you don't get to tackle to the ground or anything like that. You get to wrap up and everything, and that's fine. But other than that, everything else is live. The blocking is live, everything, all that stuff, that the pass, defensing, all that stuff is live. You just can't tackle to the ground. So that doesn't help us a ton, but it does help us getting in right positions and wrapping up. So there's a lot of things we can do without tackling to the ground. So I wanted to make sure that's clear because I hear a lot of people in the comment section. I've heard a lot of people talking to them that we need to do better practicing and we need to tackle more in practice. And it's just not really done that much anymore. You know, the form is there. You just need to get in position. Most of the time when we had a lot of missed tackles, it was on the outside with the secondary, and they were late to the spot and they lost contain. So I think if we work outside in like we're supposed to on contain, I think we'll be a lot better as far as that goes. Another thing we need to take a look at is some of the, depth chart issues. Thayer Munford just didn't have a good game at all. He was the lowest rated offensive lineman in the game. Probably the lowest rated player, I think, overall, one of the lowest rated players overall. And ultimately, look, you don't need to PFF for ratings as far as this goes. You can look at the naked eye. You can see that he got beat quite a bit. And, DJ Glaze didn't do all that great. Jackson Powers-Johnson got beat a couple times on some running plays and stuff. So we just need to make sure we get our good first step, and hopefully that's kind of woke the team up. In the second half, the backup guys, the guys that are fighting for spots, they played a little bit better. Lucky Tassi, I think, had a really good game. His technique wasn't great, but he was really physical, and he was moving a lot of bodies. This was good. Another thing is Shedric Jackson. We're going to listen to him in a little bit. He came out and, he's not a rookie or anything like that, but his first year with us, and, he showed out a little bit. So he showed he had some ability, and maybe that might give him some more reps with, the second team and maybe even the first team at times. We'll see. One of the things you need to know with Pete Carroll is, yeah, you can practice great, but it has to look good in the game because that's when you win, right? So we're going to take a listen to what Pete Carroll has to say about what he's doing right now, how he feels about certain situations, the GENO Smith thing and all that stuff happening with the fan in Seattle. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel, besides swinging apps or not just watch the video. Okay, let's get to Pete Carroll.
Okay, what do you got?
We saw JBJ out there, Jackson Powers-Johnson, but he didn't see him practice much. Is he dealing with something?
He got hit in the ribs. He got punched in the ribs, and he tried to practice with it, and it's just sore. He's fine.
You haven't seen Adam Butler out there for the last 2 days?
He's got a family issue that he's dealing with. He went home.
And my follow-up, GENO Smith was seen at the Seahawks game making an obscene gesture, like at a fan with a sign.
Did you see what the sign said?
Yeah, I saw it.
Next question.
Oh!
Talk about today, the line, there were several penalties on the
Yeah, we got real sloppy at the end there. That was a move of the ball period, and that's what I was talking to him about. That was not a good performance by us at all finishing the day. We had a really good, hard-hitting day, and then we just got real sloppy at the line of scrimmage. It was a bunch of young guys, and we just need to do better with the cadence with them to help them along.
What can you gain out of joint practices when there's not going to be the physicality?
There's not going to be the physical. When there's not going to be the physical, it's going to be physical. It'll be a physical practice. We're just not tackling. So it'll be the kind of tempo. They can't practice any harder than we're practicing. But it's just good to just see other people, other schemes, see how we match up, that kind of stuff, and take that information in.
Coach, seemed like there was just a lot of precise out in the football field today. Do you feel like there was already sensing that today?
Yeah. I thought the day really was about the energy of it, and it was good. It was a good day.
You guys think about development as an offensive lineman for someone who hasn't played football before?
Yeah, it was important to me to celebrate the fact that he's playing his first football game of his life, and so you see him go out for the coin toss, and just representing the Rooks, with the other veteran captains that were game captains. And the fact that he played in the game and did some positive things, that's a long, long ways to come. Most of us played football when we were 10 years old. He started a couple months ago. And so it was exciting to see him do something and have fun out there. And I saw a little subtle celebration after a good block. And it's to me, it's a real treasure just to watch him just develop. He's very elusive. He's got real good quickness, natural movement that involves him in the running game and the passing game. And so we're just trying to get enough plays with him so that we can kind of figure out where he is. But he has made really good showing so far.
For taking this job, and what has he shown you?
I didn't know, man. I saw him on the roster when I looked at the board the first time, and he has really been like kind of the epitome of a great competitor so far. All the way through the lead-in, through the OTA sessions and all of that, he always stood out with his effort and his finish and all of that. He's been a kind of a prized part of the special teams because of his attitude and the intensity that he brings, and then he's shown it in the games. He showed it in the mock game too. Both chances that he's had, he's made a big statement that he's fighting for a place on this team.
How much will special teams weigh into, not just him, but like a lot of those?
It does weigh in. It just depends by situation, but it is crucially important, sure.
You play in the practice and you have a lot of penalties. How do you go about cleaning that up?
Well, you get after them first off, like we did, and then we have to make sure that we work together. Like I said, a bunch of those were the young guys, and we were still hard counting and doing all of the intricacies of our cadence. We didn't jive together. We have to mix better and make sure that we take care of those guys, know who you're working. We worked ourselves instead of working the defense today.
Is that more film work, or is that both film and field?
It's repetitions. It's just repetitions over a long period of time, getting right.
Pete, when you look at your roster, there's a lot of guys where it's or where there's a lot of competition. Are you happy with how the competition's going? Do you wish there was more? What's your thought process?
No, I'm always looking for more competition, but it is apparent that in all different phases of our team, we have guys that are battling to push to get their spots, and we're trying to give them opportunities with the higher group, to show that they can match up and all of that. I mean, it's exactly what this program is all about, and so the more competitive we can make it, the longer I can keep the competitiveness alive. We don't need to make any big decisions right away. We'll take our time at it and let it continue to factor in. Guys coming into the program, a new guy comes in today, Edmonds comes in today, that guys take note of that. They know that we're still looking. We're still trying to get this as competitive as we can possibly get. So we'll be pushing that way forever. But right now, it's really apparent.
End of practice at the goal line, there were some guys out there that may not make this team, and your starters were cheering like the Raiderettes. I mean, is that what you're talking about when you're looking for competition? You got starters on there rooting guys that may not even make the team, but that's the battle.
Yeah, let me give you a statement would be if you want to play on a great team, you need to be a great teammate. And being a great teammate is given to the guys that you play with, and feeling that responsibility. And so they're demonstrating that while they have their opportunities, and it just feeds off one another, and we need to continue to call for it and until they feel it and they embrace it and it's theirs. And so that's what we're working at gaining.
Competition and making decisions. How quickly do you feel like you need to figure out who the starting five is going to be on that O-line?
What was that? What was the
starting five for the offensive line? Like, when are you guys going to have to make a decision? Do you feel like there's any time that?
No, we got a long time. We got a month before we start playing the real games, and maybe we don't figure it out by the start of the season, and we're rotating then. It just needs to declare when it declares, but it's good for all of us. It's good for those guys to be battling and knowing, looking around, and saying somebody else is going to take my spot if I don't play well on every play that I get, and that's the mentality we're looking for.
Are you seeing what you wanted to see from Jackson Powers-Johnson?
Yeah, he's definitely a physical football player, and at the guard spot, playing next to Jordan, it showed up, and it seemed to be a bit of a factor. We need consistency. We need those guys working together. Jordan's coming a long way at the center spot, but he played a really solid game right out of the chute. So you notice that we played him a lot, and we played almost, I think, to halftime, and that was to just give him enough reps so that we could have stuff on film and that we could work from. Same with JPJ.
73, you still call this your first day of school, which I love, but what are you still learning this season?
What am I still learning?
I mean, is there anything new? I'm sure you have
it's almost a moment-to-moment process of trying to figure out a better way to communicate, a better way to do something better, how to communicate with the coaches so they can reach their players. learning the coaches still, learning the players still. That's just an ongoing process, and that's why all of the competitive situations we put them in, I think it gives us more opportunity to learn who they are, and that's so that eventually we can embrace who they are and help them, be the best they can possibly be. Hey, by the way, this was a great showing by our fans today. It was really fun to see them out. There was over a couple thousand people here today, and you could feel it, and the players could feel it, and they were excited to be playing for them, and it was great to see. Appreciate that.
Off the field chemistry translate to on the field?
Say this, the first part of the question.
How does the off the field chemistry translate to on the field? Like how
everything counts. Everything is a competition in my mind. It's trying to do something as well as you can possibly do it. Being a good teammate, being connected, communicating with your teammates, communicating with your coaches. All of those are decisions that we can make, and we can act on them. And to me, it's all connected. So. Rule number one in the program is always protect the team, and that's about your conscience. And that your conscience, it takes into account everybody that you're dealing with. So, so I'm looking for all of those kinds of illustrations we can find.
Is Alex Kappa dealing with anything significant? We haven't seen him.
He's got a rib something. It's a crack or something like that we're just making sure that he gets back. So it's pretty subtle injury, but it does take a little while, and it's hard to to even take a breath at times. So he's coming back and feels pretty good about it. It's not a long-term deal at all. Good.
Okay, thank you. A lot more direct from Pete Carroll than we've seen in the past. He's not really joking around at all. He's pretty much saying straight up. It started really with the question about GENO Smith. The guy said, hey, GENO Smith, there's some controversy over how he reacted to a sign, gesture he made, a obscene gesture. And Pete Carroll shut it down. He said, hey, did you see what the sign said? Next question. No, nothing to see here, right? And that's the epitome of having your quarterbacks back, having your guys' back. And trust me, the players, if they weren't already completely bought in on Pete Carroll, this has solidified it, because he's going to have your back. Anything that he has to say negative about what's happening with his players or a team or whatever, he's going to lay into you in private, right? He's not going to do that in front of the media. In front of the media, he's going to just blow it off. It's not a big deal. We're going to move on, whatever. But he's not going to throw you out in front of the bus in front of a bunch of people. And that's just shows the experience of Pete Carroll and how to handle the media. Some people just don't say anything. Pete Carroll just shuts it down by what he says. Also, kind of a subtle thing. He said, we're not done looking. That's a huge thing, because that puts a lot of people on notice. A lot of the guys on the defensive interior line, a lot of guys on the offensive line, maybe some guys in the secondary. They're not done looking. Meaning we're not done trying to find players to make this team better. And if there's guys that we see on the street that can make this team better, and we bring them in and they are better, then guess what? They're going to make the team, and other people who have been here are not. He doesn't have this nostalgia over, well, he's been here a long time and he's been through OTAs and all stuff. He doesn't care. Who are the best 53 for this team? And 19 or so are going to be on the practice squad. Who are those guys? We need to make sure that we get those guys to be a part of this team, and those guys are the ones who are going to come in and who are going to give their best every single practice and every single game. That's the issue that I'm seeing right now with a lot of people, is because we fall in love with these players and they go on the field and they don't play well, and then it's just a bunch of excuses. There's no excuses with Pete Carroll. You go out there and you perform. Like he said now, forget about tape and running it back and watching it back over and over again. Repetition. You get it wrong. You know what you did wrong. Do it again. And that's how he coaches. And that's the bottom line, the no-nonsense Pete Carroll that I think a lot of people are lost on when they see him like just jumping around, chewing the gum and laughing. Yeah, he's that. But when it comes time to work, it's time to work. Now, as far as working, I want to take a look at the press conference of Shedric Jackson. Now, he's Bo Jackson's nephew, and then that's all well and good and great. It's not going to help him make the team. He's got to make plays, and plays he made during the preseason game. Now, if he gets more snaps and makes more plays, that fifth wide receiver spot is pretty wide open. I know Philip Dorsett is a guy that may make the team, but if Shedric Jackson, a younger guy, maybe a little bit quicker and faster, and has a little bit more explosion to his game, can go out there and make some plays, he has a good shot at making this team, because receiver at the back end, Malott hasn't shown a lot. Special teams, he hasn't shown too much. We'll see. So let's take a peek at Shedric Jackson and his press conference.
Shedric Jackson, whenever you're ready. Shedric, you've gotten a lot of work with Cam. What has he shown you throughout camp so far?
Cam's been good, coming in as a young dude, just getting his opportunity, getting the reps, and he's taking advantage of all of them.
How's it been going for you? How would you describe what your camp's been like, the preseason opener?
Yep. I'll say same thing, kind of, just still being kind of new to the Raiders, get my chance to show what I can do with no new coaching staff, and it's been going well so far, with the practices before the game, and then obviously doing what I had to do in the game to take care of business.
It's a new organization for you, but not for the family.
Right.
Uncle Bo giving you any advice or anything about what to expect here?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit. He gives me advice whenever I need it, and he's always there to help me, be there as like somebody to give me words of encouragement to keep me on the right path. So that's always good to have.
What do you know about his career with the Raiders?
Obviously I've seen some of the highlights, not too much, but guys that have been here when he was here, they tell me about it all the time, and we laugh and joke about it. So it's pretty cool to walk around the same building that he's been in, around the same people. So it's been very cool.
Sorry, how did today go for you, just overall? Sorry, I didn't hear your first answer.
Yeah, today was smooth. Getting back out here in the heat, full pads, that's how you play football. So you got to get used to the elements. Luckily, we got the nice Allegiant Stadium to play in, so we ain't got to deal too much with this heat. But, it's always good to get out here with the guys, compete, and just build that relationship, build that chemistry.
What are you hoping to build upon going into this week as you get ready to face the Niners?
Yeah, just build consistency, continue to build that chemistry. First time playing with all of these quarterbacks, the O-line, everybody else, so it's been fun. It's been a great opportunity.
New staff and everything. What's your take on Chip Kelly's offense and kind of how it creates space for you guys?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. We kept it simple so far, game plan wise, going into the games. But he has a lot of exciting stuff, so we'll see what that takes us this season.
We saw after practice you were taking some extra reps with some of your fellow wideouts. What is the camaraderie like in that room, and how you guys are competing, but you also want to be good teammates? How do you kind of balance that? Right,
that's something that I've always taken pride in, just trying to get better myself. And when I'm going over there to get better, somebody's coming with me. So I take somebody with me, and the young guys you're talking about, trying number 85. He does his thing every day. We go out there and get our reps after practice, before practice. So those small reps, they add up over time, and they help you get a lot better.
You're not new to this league, but the way that you performed in that preseason game, is there any sigh of relief that you feel okay, I caught this, just getting that under your belt?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. No matter what year I'm in, I kind of did it my first year, my rookie year in the preseason, made some plays. So kind of, that same feeling. It was real fun and exciting. So I'm looking to do it again.
How would you describe what you bring, your skill set, what you bring to the team?
Yeah, I try to make as many plays as possible. As a receiver, that's what you want to do, especially the ones down the field. Those are exciting ones, and that's what you look forward to playing receiver. Just when you're going deep, catching over the middle, the run after the catch, everything about it is just exciting for me.
Too simple to kind of label you as a speed guy or a possession guy, or how would
Yeah, I've tried to pick up on the run after the catch part, yards after the catch. So that's something I've always worked on.
Yep. Are you a Raiders fan?
No.
No. What was your team?
I really didn't have an NFL team. I'm from Alabama,
okay.
So yeah, I was just Auburn pretty much. I started going for the Saints at one point, but that's about it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, well, that was a big missed opportunity at the end there. Talking about, did you have a football team growing up? And he said, oh, yeah, I started going for the Saints for a little bit. Wait a second, bro. You should have just said the Raiders because your uncle played for the Raiders. Come on. You just messed that one up. But that's okay. That's fine. As long as you can help us win now, we're good with it. So, Shedric Jackson, one of the things that we need to look at with him is the position group that he's looking to get into. He plays some special teams. He also is a receiver, and that end of the receiver is we had some kind of thoughts about Tommy Millard and can he develop into a guy in this, and he hasn't shown much yet as a receiver. He hasn't shown much yet in the return game. Now, for all accounts, he's a hard worker, and he's a guy that has a lot of physical tools. But, you got the NFL, all these guys have physical tools, right? So just getting better at the craft, I think he's a guy that we may be able to stash on the practice squad should the opportunity arise. But honestly, I think that the back end of this wide receiver core is pretty wide open for anyone to really take it. There's people that say that Alex Bachman is a guy that can, do some things. I just think he's more of a possession type of guy. We have a lot of guys that do what he does. I think we need more of a playmaker type of guy. And we're playing a lot of 2 tight end sets. I don't know if Bachman's going to fit into that. He's just kind of a similar type of guy. I don't know. Well, what the hell do I know? They could have just all that ton of guys that are like that, and just expect Tucker and Thornton Jr. to just judge the field themselves. Who knows? It's still really early. We didn't see a lot as far as scheme goes, and just very basic and vanilla. Not only plays but blocking schemes as well. So I wouldn't put too much into this first game as far as the offense, as far as playing goes. One of the things I will put a lot into is the aggression and the overall just technique of the offensive and defensive lines. Defensive line up front, it's just a black hole in the middle there. We need some guys to step up and really make some big plays. Tonka Hemingway looked good, although he played most of the time at defensive end. He did get some deep tackle snaps. We just need guys to just show up in that middle part there and really solidify the middle part of the defensive line. It's a long way to go. We haven't even had our first game yet. We're going to have a joint practice this week and a game on Saturday. So look forward to that. I look forward to some major improvement from this team. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you do to support the channel, besides doing absolutely nothing, just watch the video. All right, guys, really appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. We're climbing up there. We're well over 3,000 right now. I want to get to 4,000 by the season starts. That's crazy, I know, but I think we can do it. We have a lot more viewers coming lately because the season's coming up and people being more interested. Not many people are psychos like me and just think Raiders 24/7, 365, right? But if you guys are coming in towards the season and just finding me, I appreciate you. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Also, tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world is the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.